You're watching TVC Breakfast. Let's get to our next discussion. Now, many young persons are becoming entrepreneurs and taking up challenges in their different professions. And there is a need to support from person to person and those who are experienced in that same field. A mentor-mentee relationship allows for a long-term and beneficial relationship where two or more people can share ideas and experiences on how to succeed in the workplace. Now, there are several benefits of having a mentor, especially one that could guide you in the business world. And to tell us more about this and why having a mentor is important is Director of Organization Development and Planning, Center for Real Impact, Julie Mogbo. Julie, good morning. It's good to have you join me this morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Great. Good to see you. Now, we often hear the word mentor, and mentoring is becoming more popular now with the trends around. But in the context of entrepreneurship and getting people to become or creating more impact, how would you describe what mentoring is so we don't misunderstand what it is or what it is not, as the case may be?
Thank you very much. So I would like to take us back a bit to the person called mentor. So traditional mentoring can be traced down to a man called mentor in the Greek mythology. It was about a father who was going to be away for some years, but wanted his son, had a picture, a vision, a projection of how he wanted his son to be. So he handed him over to mentor. And by the time he returned, he was amazed that his son actually became what he envisioned him to be. So taking that as a cue, mentoring, as defined by Eric Paslow, who is an author of several books and many distant learning packages, he said that mentoring is to support and encourage a person or a group of people to manage their own learning, in order that they may maximize their potential, develop their skills, improve their performance, and become the person that they want to be. Judging from this definition and the Greek mythology, the character mentor, we see the language that is used in this definition to encourage and to support, which means that you're not dictating for someone, you're not ordering people, you're not being a dictator to people. It means that it requires you working with a person or a group of people so that they can maximize their potentials. They can first of all discover themselves. They need to have a direction, but they need a guide. So it's like having a guide to journey with an individual or a group of people from one place to a desired destination. So one thing that mentoring is not, it is not tormenting. So a mentor is not a tormentor. We have that in so many cases where people look up to professionals, maybe in their fields, experts in their fields, regardless of the sector in which they find themselves. They look at these people from afar. They desire to be like them. They feel they can learn something from them. They walk up to these people requesting a guide, requesting mentorship, and then the reverse is what they get. So mentorship is not being a mentor. It is a guide, a support, leading an individual or a group of people from where they currently are to where they desire to be.
All right. Well, if you look at the Nigerian culture, the way we have lived and the way we have evolved over time in our relationship in either corporate or business or whatever the thing is, would you say that we have imbibed mentoring as a practice within the culture that we practice in Nigeria?
Thank you. I think we are gradually, it's still a snail pace, we are gradually coming to accept how important mentoring is. whether it's in education sector, business, in health, in every sector, even in politics. We are gradually coming to accept the importance, the role that mentorship plays in succession plan, in creating sustainable impact in the society, in creating successful businesses. We're gradually coming to that. If we check in the country, there was a study that was carried out. The number of people that are entrepreneurs now in the country, according to a particular report, states that about 67% of entrepreneurs between the ages of 18 to 35 are young people. So we have 43% that are women and 67 are young people between the ages of 18 and 35. So if we have this number of people running businesses, are probably self-employed, and we are still experiencing what we're experiencing in the country, we are seeing how the economy is and there are complaints left, right, and center. It should tell us that there is still a lot of gap. There is something not right. Although out of this number, this is 67%, we have a few of them that have said, I think about 43 said that their businesses have been successful so far. But how about the rest? So it's important for us to look into the concept called mentoring so that we can have a more positive and sustainable impact in our economy.
All right, now share with us, because we have been used to apprenticeship, where some people go to learn under other people for a period of time, and then after maybe several months or a few years, they become independent. How different is mentoring or mentorship from apprenticeship?
Okay, so when we need to also understand that when we talk about mentoring, we are talking about guiding people. They have a vision, they have an idea, they have a projection, they have a desire to be somewhere, to become something, to build an enterprise. And the mentor comes into place to help that individual, to support and encourage that individual to achieve their goals. So when we look at the other concept of apprenticeship, well, I will say that in the health sector, for instance, there's something called preceptorship. So preceptorship comes into play when medical students, nursing students have undergone their program, their training in their different institutions of learning. They find themselves in the practical environment, in the hospitals. They are not just allowed to go into the system unguarded or unguided. So the preceptors are positioned and students are assigned to them, because these ones are seen as experts in the field. They've gathered a lot of experience. So they step in to guide the younger nurses and medical students or doctors to have a grasp of their clinical knowledge. So this preceptorship goes on for a while until they actually can perform procedures and other medical tasks unguided. So when we look at mentoring is guiding you from where you are to where you want to be. Then we look at apprenticeship. Well, it's actually a good model, if you ask me. It's a good model such that they desire to learn something, they want to build a business, and then you have someone who is ready to take you in. But sometimes the problem is that's why I said that mentors are not tormentors. Your assignment as a mentor is to guide this individual and then let them go, release them. The knowledge gap as to what mentoring entails is what leads to a mentor turning into a tormentor, where they don't want to give room, they don't want to share knowledge, they don't want to give their mentees opportunity to take up some responsibilities. Some apprenticeship programs have been successful, where some people work for a period of time, and when they are done, their benefactors allow them to go, fund them, give them some equipment to start with. At the end of the day, if the relationship goes well, the mentee always remembers the mentor. And even in the future, there is the possibility of collaboration. possibility of partnership. And that really shows that the mentor has done a good job. So there's not much difference, but there is need for expanded understanding, awareness, and knowledge and skills regarding the concept of mentoring so that we can properly utilize and maximize that concept of apprenticeship so that we actually can help as many people go off the streets and have their hands in a gainful venture.
Okay. And now, from your observation, how much impact has mentoring had on the issue of enterprise development in the country so far, from what you've been observing?
Interestingly, we thankfully have some mentoring organizations, individuals, we know a number of them, that have successfully trained, coached, mentored young people. We also have the statistics of 67% of the Nigerian economy championed by young people. Then it shows that they somehow have access to some kind of mentoring. So those that have engaged in the program, whether they're individuals or organizations, they are doing well so far. They only need the support of other institutions, of the government, because some have records, successful records of people they have grown, they have coached, they have mentored in businesses. We have so many startups. If you go on social media, you have in the digital space, creative industry, in the health. For my own field, as an example, in nursing, we have so many young people who are establishing different ventures within the healthcare sector, and they are addressing different areas of specialty, because the human being is dynamic. Our needs keep evolving, and we need to bring up many ideas, groom these people so that these problems can be solved. So I would say, to a large extent, mentoring has helped in raising entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs. However, considering the vices, the social vices we're experiencing, the increase in insecurity, kidnapping, and all that, it suggests to us that there's still a lot of work to do.
Okay. Now, for young people who are prospective mentees and young people who want to take advantage of mentoring, how do they find a mentor, knowing that, okay, I have a role model, I like to build my ideas and desires and all of that after, but how do they go about finding a mentor that should guide them, like you have put it?
All right, so for a prospective mentee, I would say it will start from their institutions. I'm charging institutions, whether secondary school, higher places of learning, to embrace mentoring as part of their programs, because from there, the students are learning. Prospective mentees, their eyes, their consciousness is being expanded, their awareness is opening up. They would have an idea, because not every mentor is meant for a mentee. They need to first of all understand where they are going. What is my vision? What do I want to achieve? Who am I to even start with? When they have that understanding, then they will see. Otherwise, they will just be like a shaft being blown by the wind, moving in any direction. So first of all, they need to undergo some kind of programs talking about vision, identifying what your purpose is, because every business has a purpose. You don't just get up one day and say you want to start a business. What kind of business do you want to start? Who are your targets? What's going to be your product? What sector of the economy? What challenges are you addressing? So all of these, they need to first of all have an idea of these things, and then they start looking out for mentors. So I am charging institutions to start embracing mentorship as part of their program. That is one. And then secondly, they need to attend programs. They have social media platforms. You actually can search out for organizations that are engaging young people in entrepreneurship programs and training, and also in mentoring and coaching. So there are some organizations that you can find online that will help in guiding young people to be able to step into their field and then grow and create successful businesses. That's some bit of idea for young people. Institutions engage in mentoring programs, work and partner or collaborate with organizations that are running the same programs. This way it can be sustainable. If the institutions want to take it up themselves, without proper training, the staff or employees may truncate the vision. But when they partner with organizations that are into this primarily, then you have a higher chance of running successful mentoring or entrepreneurship programs.
All right. Talking about young people, to what extent do you think young people of today, the Generation Z or millennials, depending on how one wants to call them, to what extent are they taking advantage of the mentoring, process in the system right now?
Now, when we talk about the extent to which they take it, we have a huge challenge on our hands. And I will take the health sector as an example. We have many young healthcare professionals coming up with the thoughts that they want to solve the problem within the healthcare system. And then you're seeing different businesses coming up. I have engaged many of them, and I ask the question, what is your nursing vision? What is your medical vision? What is your health vision? I want to change the profession. How do you want to change it? What aspects do you want to? Everyone wants to change, but this change isn't clearly defined. So we have had some of them go on and then they get discouraged. You try to encourage them to embrace mentoring. They feel they know it already. There's a problem, there's a huge gap. So there's no connection between the veterans within the industry and the millennials that are coming up. So they are not properly utilizing mentorship or mentoring due to so many factors. One, they know it. Two, perhaps they have funds, maybe parents, or they have money at their disposal. They believe they can just engage in a business venture. They feel they know it without understanding that there are certain structures that has to be in place for a business to be successful. There's emotional intelligence for the young entrepreneur to have, because you're going to be dealing with people. The nation, it's the way it is right now. It takes a lot of intelligence and wisdom to be able to manage people and manage businesses, manage clients and customers. You need to have a proper market survey so it can clearly define what your objectives are, who your target market is, and what products you're going to push into the market. For the young people, there's still a lot of work to do. If the concept of business, of enterprise isn't properly understood, which is to solve a problem, then we have a lot more problem on our hands because many are driven by profit. And when the money isn't coming in, you see that people discouraged.
All right, let me ask you this before we go. Is there a time frame by which mentoring should take place where you can measure the adequacy of ideas that have been, or knowledge or skill that have been transferred from the mentor to the mentee? Is there a time frame which it should take?
So mentoring comes in different stages, and one transition from one stage to another. Mentoring can grow into collaboration, into partnership. So long as there's life, there's no end to learning. You can learn a particular thing from the start, and then when you grow, remember I said that the problems of man keeps evolving. We are dynamic. Our system is dynamic. So there is the need for us to keep acquiring knowledge. Right now, people need to acquire digital skills because that's the era in which we live in now. In an organization, for example, we have different programs. We have those that are just coming in. We have those that have transitioned to the role of leadership, and they're undergoing leadership training, leadership coaching, and mentoring. And then for those that are already in different professions, they are being charged with the responsibility to mentor others as well. So there is no end to learning. So long as one has breath in his nostrils, you have to keep learning. Just that the things that you learn along your life's journey are different as the need demands.
All right. Thank you so much, Julie Mobile, for coming on the program and talking to us about the need for mentorship. Thank you very much.